is your gateway to success when job hunting. It's the very first impression that an employer will have of you, so you need to make sure it impresses. This video guide will show you how to write a winning CV that will get you noticed by recruiters and employers, and land you plenty of job interviews. Here at Standout CV, we've helped hundreds of thousands of people to land their dream jobs, and hopefully the advice in this video will do the same for you. During the course of the video, you will learn what research needs to be done before you start writing your CV, how to structure your CV to best please recruiters, how to format your CV for a professional outlook, how to write a profile that will grab recruiters' attention, how to detail your work experience and education, and if and how to include your hobbies and interests. The biggest mistake that job seekers make is failing to research their target roles before writing their CV. If you don't know what skills and knowledge your potential employers are looking for, it will be difficult to write a CV that impresses them. So, before you start writing your CV, you need to hit the job boards and browse through lots of relevant job adverts in your industry. Take note of the candidate requirements that keep appearing and make a list of them. Focus on hard skills such as industry-specific skills, IT system knowledge, languages, and qualifications. Don't worry too much about soft skills like communication, teamwork, and problem solving. Soft skills are great to have, but they are applicable to most jobs, so you need to focus on hard skills in your CV. Once you have a list of the most in-demand skills and knowledge for your target roles, you know exactly what to focus your CV around. This preparation will make the task of writing it much easier for you. The structure and format of your CV will define its overall outlook and determine how the document will be read. Your CV should look flawlessly professional and should be easy for busy recruiters to navigate and find the information they need.
Your CV is the single most important document in your job application. This video will teach you how to write a compelling CV. One thing is certain, there is no such thing as the perfect CV. That's because the contents of the ideal CV are determined by the position and the person who is applying. Employers use the information in your CV to decide how suitable you are for the position. That means you should tailor the information in your CV to each position you apply for. The first section should contain your personal information, such as your date of birth and contact details. Whether you should include a picture of yourself depends on the position you're applying for and the company offering it. Just make sure you look professional in your photo. The second section is your personal profile. In just a few sentences, you describe who you are, what you have to offer, and what your ambitions are. The third section, education, is where you show your academic accomplishments from high school graduation onwards. Since your most recent school or academic program is the most relevant, start there and work your way back. In no more than 3 bullet points, you can list your most significant results, such as a high average grade, your most relevant courses, your thesis, or any minors you have completed. The work experience section should contain your internships and any previous relevant work. Clearly state your job title, responsibilities, and primary tasks. The more specific you can be about what you did, the better. Sort your bullet points by relevance, with the most relevant at the top. Your extracurricular activities matter a great deal in the Netherlands. Describe what you do outside of school. This tells the employer a lot about you. What do you enjoy? What skills have you developed outside of your studies? What are your interests? You can list as many activities as you like, so long as they show that you possess skills your employer will find relevant. Again, use bullet points to indicate what you've done and learnt. If you possess skills that are relevant for the position but don't quite fit in any of the previous categories, add them in a separate skills section. You can include anything you're good at or know a lot about. Include things like a second language, training programs you've completed, software you know how to use, and any specialist or unusual skills. Keep in mind whether a given skill has any significance to the position you're applying for. The final section, Interests and Additional Information, is an opportunity for you to provide some personal background to help the employer understand what kind of person you are. Consider carefully what you choose to share. The best visual design for your CV depends on what industry you're in. The decision whether to put your CV in the yes or the no pile is usually made in the first 30 seconds. That's why you
See this person here? Every time you go for a job, there'll be someone looking over your CV. Having a good CV gives you a greater chance to get to the interview side of things. And I'm here to help you make your CV as good as it can be. When you first start out with your CV, begin with your personal details. Your name, your address, things like that. Then you can list your skills and achievements. Any work you've done, and your education.
How about me babysitting my nieces and nephews?
Yeah, that's perfect. Make sure you do a spell check. No lols and no text language. So your CV is just like your clothes. Just like you change outfits for different occasions, you need to be able to write different things on your CV depending on what job you're applying for, especially when it comes to your skills.
So, like, letting a cafe owner know I already know how to make coffee?
Exactly, that's a great one. Check out this ad for a job at a clothes shop. You're looking for someone with previous experience dealing with people and someone with a positive attitude.
Nice. But I haven't had a job like that before.
That's okay. Even if you've never had a job like this before, you still have skills the employer's looking for.
Still looks a bit messy.
No worries. Once you've got everything down, the team here at Careers New Zealand have got an awesome online tool to make it all look great for you. It pays to get someone to look over your CV before you send it out as well. A parent or teacher can be helpful.
Oh, hi, Mr. Johnson.
Hey,
Can you please look over this for me?
sure. Looks good.
Awesome.
You got your CV and your cover letter with you? Because your cover letter is your chance to tell the employer why you think you're the best person for a particular job. And also why you're interested in the role you're applying for. It encourages the employer to read over your CV.
Yeah, got it right here.
Awesome.
After your CV, your cover letter is the next most important document in your application. Employers will often look at your CV first, and only if that interests them will they look at your letter. This video will teach you how to write a good letter. There are 3 important things you must remember about cover letters. 1. The core of your letter is a personal pitch of why you want the job and why they should give it to you. You will use the best parts of this pitch everywhere, in the profile section of your CV, on your LinkedIn profile, in job interviews, and in video applications. To write a good letter, you start by creating a good pitch to clarify what motivates you and what your best qualities are. Number 2, a cover letter isn't about you. It's about the match between you, the organisation and the position. You should constantly be emphasising facts that support that match. And 3, your cover letter should supplement your CV, not repeat it. Although your letter will be based on the information contained in your CV, it should focus more on your motivation and how well you match the organisation and the position. How do you write a good cover letter? You start by analysing the job opening and the organisation. What does the job entail? What competencies are required? What do I know about the organisation? Next, you take this information and you use it to answer the following 2 questions. First, what motivates me to apply for this position? And second, why am I the best person for the job? As soon as you have your answers, you can start writing.
Now we're going to be looking at cover letter grammar. My first grammar tip is to avoid contractions where necessary. I'm or I am. Don't or do not. I'd or I would. So how do you know if it's okay to use contractions in a cover letter or not? Well, it depends on who's likely to read it and the job that you're applying for. You want to demonstrate that you're a good fit, and a good way of doing that is to match the communication style of the employer in your cover letter. You should always use full sentences. Bullet points are for the CV. Full sentences are for the cover letter. You should avoid the passive voice and use the active voice most of the time. An example of the passive voice is, a promotion to supervisor was awarded to me after only 1 year. The active voice, after only 1 month I earned a promotion to manager. The passive voice, loyalty was recognised as one of my strengths. The active voice, I am very loyal. Now let's discuss the vocabulary that you should and should not use in your cover letter. Firstly, don't use any slang. This is a formal business letter. You should also try to use keywords from the job advert. Additionally, you should use powerful verbs and adjectives. I'm going to give you a list of weak verbs and the powerful verbs you can use instead. Number 1, instead of get, you can use receive. Number 2, instead of give, you could use provide. Number 3, instead of help, you could say assist. 4, instead of answer, you could try reply. Number 5, instead of choose, you could say select. Number 6, instead of saying talk about, you could use discuss. Number 7, instead of to make sure, you could say ensure. And number 8, instead of to tell, you could use to inform. Lastly, before you send off your cover letter, you need to check, is everything attached? Is your CV there as well? Is everything proofread? Are there any spelling mistakes or are there any grammar mistakes? Right, if you follow all of my tips, you should have a really clear and concise cover letter that should make you stand out amongst the crowd.